Yes, hello guys, good evening once again. Welcome back to Technical Alphas. Please subscribe, share and like the video. So we ended at our question 1 or under the resource questions in Microsoft Excel, or what we call spreadsheet. Okay, so we have some sample questions here. We're going to be using them as we learn most of the features we use in Microsoft Excel, or as we explore the features in spreadsheet. Okay, so we're going to be basing on these sample questions. Like now here we have question 1. They are saying the information below is driven from Mofut Limited from some few selected staff. The staff include Jackie, Kent, Pauline, Eunice, Xavier, Leonard, Sonny, Christine, Philippa and Innocent. They earn the following amount as basic salary respectively. Okay, so we have this amount, mean that if they say respectively, that means the first person or the first staff member will get the first basic salary here. The second one, Kent, will get this second one, like that, until they are all completed. Okay, so now they are saying the first question, they are saying enter the above information using Microsoft Excel. Remember, we are now introducing ourselves to spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. So we have to enter this information. Most of the times they will be giving you information in form of tables. At times they will give you information in form of sentences, but you have to populate it by yourself and make it a table. Okay, like now this question 1, they have given us a table in form of a sentence, so we have to enter the information in Excel. So let's try to check here and we see. Like now in our folder here, the folder is called the work. This is where I'm going to do my work from. So if you look at this thing, you right click, and then we click on new, and then we click on Microsoft Excel worksheet. Okay, to load the file. So let me give it sample like that. Then after that you open it. So you see this is our worksheet. Okay, it is an empty worksheet. But remember, we have to enter the information like the question, the way the question is telling us. So meaning that we're going to enter staff members first as the label staff members, like that. Then another label is going to be basic salary, because they said they earn the following basic salary respectively. So we put here basic salary like that. Okay, so but we're going to find that now this column A, the content in column A or the label in column A, the values we can't see them all. So what we have to do, we have to increase on the column width. How do we do that? Okay, you click somewhere or in any cell, then after that you come here where we have the column numbers, like column A, column B. You come in between column A and column B because we want to increase column A. Okay, so the moment your cursor changes like that to that format, just left click, that is the normal click, don't release the mouse, and then move the cursor like that. Okay, so that's how we increase on the width of the columns. The same applies to column B. I'm going to click anywhere, then I come back here in between column B and column C, I increase on the size like that. Okay, then you always save your changes. Okay, Control S on the keyboard, or you come and click on this small icon here, it is for saving. Okay, so I'm not going to fill in the whole information, but rather I have a file which I had already entered the information, so we are not going to waste more time on that, since we have a file which is already having content. Okay, so I'm going to close this one, then I open our file here, still in our folder. It is called the question 1. So if I open it, we're going to see that I had already entered the information like the way you see it. We have staff members and we have basic salary here, even the information which was in the question. So because if you come back in our question here, you see that we have the information below is driven from Mofut Limited from some few selected staff. The staff include Jackie, Kent, Pauline, and then their basic salaries. That's what I entered here in the Excel worksheet. Okay, so without wasting much time, we're going to start on the required questions. Okay, so the first one was enter the above information using Microsoft Excel. Okay, so the second one, they are saying a lunch allowance for all employees is 22% of their basic pay. You get that? They are saying a lunch allowance for all employees is 22% of their basic pay, or you can call it basic salary. So now we're going to use a function in this case to calculate the lunch allowance, but they are telling us that they are calculating the employees' lunch allowance based on their basic pay or their basic salary. So how do we do that? You come back in your file, okay? First of all, we're going to rename this column, or we're going to give it a name, a label, and we call it lunch allowance. Lunch allowance, like that. Then we try to increase on the width of the column. Save the changes, Ctrl S. Then they are saying a lunch allowance is 22% of the basic salary. So what we do, you come here in column, it is called column C2, okay? This is a cell address, C2. Every time I talk about a cell address, it is just an identifier of a cell, okay? An identifier of a cell. That is a cell address. So like now, if the reason as to why I'm calling this one cell C2 is that because it is in column C and then row number 2. This is where we're going to calculate the lunch allowance from, okay, for Jackie, or this way we're going to calculate Jackie's lunch allowance. So I'm going to enter a function, but what you have to note is when we are dealing with Excel or spreadsheet, every time you're entering a function or a formula, you have to start with an equal sign. That is a must. You always start with an equal sign, okay? So I'm going to say equal sign, like that. Then they have told us that in our question they are saying a lunch allowance for all employees is 22% of their basic salary. So I'm going to say equal sign 22%, I write the percentage symbol like that, of, if they say of their basic salary, that means they are going to multiply 22% with the basic salary. So you bring the multiplication sign, that one, and then you click on the basic salary like that, okay? You click on the basic salary, it is in cell B2. Jackie's basic salary is in cell B2 like that, okay? So there is a reason as to why I've not used what? The fixed values like 66C and these 4 zeros, okay? There is a reason as to why I've used the B2. It's because I'm going to copy the same formula to the next cells to auto-calculate for the rest of the employees. So if you use the fixed values, you're going to find that if you auto-fill or if you auto-calculate, the values are not going to change. Let me give you an example here, okay? Let me start with filling in the fixed values so that you can see what I'm meaning. Like this. If I press enter, this symbol also means enter. In case you don't want to press enter on the keyboard, you press this tick here like that, okay? So if I autofill or to auto calculate for the rest of the members, what you do, you select that cell which is having the content or the answer, then you come on the bottom right corner. The moment your cursor changes like that symbol, let's say we can call it a plus symbol, okay, or an addition symbol. The moment it changes like that, you just left click, that's the normal click, and then you drag or you move your cursor down up to where the content ends. So you see that now we are getting fixed values. All of the employees are getting fixed lunch allowance, and that's not what we wanted. The reason as to why it is coming in a fixed way, because we chose the fixed allowance. So that's why I always advise you to always use cell addresses, okay? So here I'm going to put there the cell address, it is cell B2, like that, cell B2. Or you can just click on it, then it will come. Then after that you click enter on your keyboard, or you press enter on your keyboard, or you click this symbol, it also means enter like that. You see that? So if I autofill now, you see now different employees are getting different lunch allowances, okay? Then you save the changes, Ctrl S. Okay, let's go and see what the next question is telling us to do. Now they are saying a housing allowance or housing allowances are 62% of the lunch allowance. They are telling us that all employees housing allowance, they are 62% of the lunch allowance, okay? So we're going to first get a label here and we call it housing allowance, like that. We increase on the size of the column the width like that. Then we come and say equal sign. They are saying it is 62%. You bring the percentage symbol of the lunch allowance. So you click on lunch allowance like that. Wait a moment. 62% times, okay, times, that is multiplication, the lunch allowance, C2. Then you click on the enter symbol, then you autofill or you auto calculate for the rest of the members. Don't forget to always save the changes, Ctrl S on your keyboard. Okay, so let's try and see the next question. They are saying all employees are paid a transport allowance of 59,000. All employees are paid a transport allowance of 59,000. So I want you to give attention to this question. They are saying all employees are paid a transport allowance of 59,000. That means that transport allowance for all the employees in an organization is fixed. So they all get the same transport allowance. Meaning that here, what we need to do, let's first start with the label. It is transport allowance. Transport allowance. Oops, sorry. Let's make them capital letters. Transport allowance. Like that. Then what we need also is to increase on the width of the column. Okay, click somewhere, come and increase the width. Okay, like that. So they are saying all employees get a transport allowance of 59,000. So that is a fixed value. So no need to get a formula for that. What you do, just write 59,000, 59 and 3 zeros, then you autofill it for the rest of the employees. Like that. Then you press Ctrl S on your keyboard to save the changes. Okay. So let's look at the next question. They are saying compute the employees gross pay. Compute the employees gross pay. So now here we're going to look at the employees gross pay. But you find that when you are calculating the gross pay of the employees, on the standard calculations, the gross pay is someone's salary or someone's basic salary plus all the allowances. Okay, so we get someone's basic salary and then we put there all the allowances. Okay, so we're going to calculate the gross pay. That means it's going to be the basic salary plus all these allowances that the employees are getting: lunch allowance, housing allowance, transport allowance, like that. Okay, but before we do anything, we're going to calculate gross pay in 2 columns. Okay, the first column we are going to use a formula or a function, and then the first column we're going to use a function, and then the second column for gross pay we're going to use a formula. So I want you guys to differentiate between functions and the formulas. Remember, they told us that a formula is a mathematical expression. It can be either logical or non-logical, but with a function, that is a predefined formula. Meaning that a function is always inbuilt. Those are inbuilt commands in the system or in the software. Okay, so like now here, if we want to calculate the gross pay, remember we said it's going to be the basic salary of the employee plus all the allowances. So I'm just going to say, let's use the function first. Equal sign. The function for addition, it is always called the sum. Okay, equal sign sum. You write the word sum, you open brackets, the curved brackets, then you come and highlight from basic salary up to transport allowance. Okay, like that. Then you close the brackets, you press enter on your keyboard. Okay, so this is the gross pay of the employees, okay, or of Jackie. So what we do to calculate for the rest of the employees, you just autofill and then you calculate the amount for all of them. You press Ctrl S and save the changes. So here we have used the function, and the function we've used, it's called the sum. So let's try a formula here. So remember, I told you a formula, that is a mathematical expression. It can be either logical or non-logical. So with the formula, we're going to populate it ourselves, okay, by ourselves. So how do we do that? you say equal sign cell B2 plus cell C2 plus cell D2 plus cell E2. Okay, if I press enter, you're going to see that I'm going to get the same answers. You see that? Same answers here, same answers here. But here we have used the function. It is a predefined formula. And then here we have used a formula. Okay, so that's the differences between the formulas and the function. So I want you guys to understand or to differentiate between the two things. How does the formula look like and how does the function look like? Okay, so let's look at the next question and see. So they are saying pay is 2.5% of the basic salary. Pay as you earn is 2.5% of the basic salary. Okay, so we have to add here another column and we call it pay. Okay, so they are saying it is 2.5% of the basic salary. So I'm going to say equal sign. Remember, we always start with an equal sign. Equal sign 2.5% of the basic pay times the basic pay, and our basic salary is in cell B2. Okay, so you press enter or you click enter and then you auto fill to calculate for the rest of the employees. Don't forget to save the changes, Control S. So let's try and look for the next question. What are they telling us? They are saying National Social Security Fund is calculated at 18% of the gross pay. Okay, NSSF, that is National Social Security Fund, is calculated at 18% of gross pay. Okay, so that means we're going to calculate the NSSF based on the gross pay. Let me write it in short format, NSSF. Okay, so here I'm going to say equal sign 18% of the gross pay. So you click on our gross pay like that, then you press the enter symbol. We're going to get our answer, but remember I have to auto calculate for the rest of the employees. Okay, like that, you save the changes. So that is the NSSF. Okay, let's try to look for the second question. What are they telling us? They are saying compute the employees' net pay. Compute the employees' net pay. So when we are computing the employees' net pay, most of the times it depends on the standards that people are using or on the standard calculations. Okay, so net pay most of the times is always we deduct the taxes from the salary. Okay, so it depends on which calculation standards you're using. At times we can deduct them from the basic salary, or sometimes we deduct them from the gross salary. So at times it even depends on what the question is telling you. Okay, so in our case we are going to calculate the net pay based on the basic salary. That means we are going to deduct our taxes from the basic salary. Okay, so what we do here, we have two forms of taxes here. Okay, we have pay and then NSSF. We are going to consider those two as our taxes. So to calculate our net pay, that means we are going to get the sum of the taxes, sum of pay and NSSF, and then we deduct it from the basic salary. So I'm going to get a label here and we call it net pay, like that. Then after that we come here, we say equal sign. Remember I'm saying we are going to calculate our net pay using the basic salary. We're going to deduct the taxes from the basic salary. So our basic salary is in cell B2. So I'm going to say equal sign B2 minus open brackets pay, which is in cell H2, plus NSSF, which in cell I2. Then we close our brackets. Okay, the reason as to why I've opened the brackets, or the reason as to why I've put the taxes in brackets, because in computing, or when it comes to computing, ICT in general, we have what we call garbage in, garbage out. That is GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. So what you enter into the computer is what you get out as an output. So if you give it a wrong formula, you're going to get a wrong answer. If you give it a wrong function, you get a wrong answer. If you give it a correct formula, you get a correct answer. So that's called the GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So you see that we say that to calculate our net pay, we are going to first add the what? We are going to add the taxes, then we deduct the answer we got from the addition of the taxes from the basic salary. Okay, so that's why I had to put the taxes into brackets, because they were 2. If I just say that equal sign B2 minus H2 plus I1, that means it's going to give me wrong answer. Okay, so you just say equal sign basic salary minus open brackets pay plus NSSF, you close bracket, then you press enter. Okay, or you click on the enter symbol here. Then after that you auto fill. After that you auto fill to calculate for the rest of the employees. We save our changes, Control S. Okay, so let's look at the second question here. What are they telling us? They are saying plot a line graph of net pay against basic salary in worksheet 2. Okay, plot a line graph of net pay against basic salary in worksheet 2. Plot a line graph. Okay, so they want us to plot a line graph of basic salary and net pay. So we have to select both the two, basic salary and net pay. But you find that if you're selecting net pay and you come select basic salary, net pay is going to be unselected, or it's going to be unhighlighted. So what you do when you want to select 2 elements or 2 columns, 2 different columns, what you do, you select the first column, like here I'm going to select the basic salary, then go on your keyboard, press Control button, don't release it, and then select the net pay also. Okay, then after that you can raise your Control button. Then what else? The next step is going to be you click on insert. Remember they have told us to plot a line graph. Okay, click on insert, you come where you see the word line or the feature for line. Okay, so you select or you choose the line graph that you want. We have here line, we have this one stacked line, then we also have 100% stacked line. So it depends on the type that you want to use. Okay, we have here 3D lines, but in our case we're going to use just the 3D line. But before we go there, let's take an example. You wanted to insert a column chart basing on the basic salary and the net pay. So what you do, you click on insert still, then you click on column and you look for a column chart that you want. We have 2D column charts, we have 3D column charts, we have cylinder column charts, cone, we have pyramid, all of them. Okay, so in case you might want to design a 3D clustered column chart, so you just hover on these features as they give you their names. Okay, so now this one is called the 3D clustered column chart, but if I hover on this one, they are going to tell me that it is called the 3D stacked column chart. So it depends on what you want. The same applies to pie charts, the same applies to bar charts, the same applies to area charts, the same applies to X and Y scatter. Okay, so let's go and design our line graph. You click on it like that, then it will come here. But remember they have told us to save it in worksheet 2, isn't it? So after inserting it like this, I want you to click on it. Okay, right click on it. After right clicking, you click on cut, because they have told us to design it in worksheet 2. Okay, so you come and click on sheet 2 and paste it there like that. Okay, you save the changes, Control S. So let's look at the last question. What are they telling us? They are saying plot a line graph of the last one. Sorry, they are saying save your work in your name and registration number on the desktop. Okay, save your work. Remember, for me, I had saved the work as question 1, isn't it? So we're going to save it as our name and registration number. So what you do, come and click on file. Okay, click on save as. Click on save as. We have to wait for the location window, then we specify or we get the location where we want to save our file. So I'm going to choose desktop, After choosing desktop, I have my folder on the desktop. It is called work. Then you open it like that. After opening it, you change the file name. They have told us to save it as our name and registration number. So I'm going to say, you come here in the file name, you remove question 1, you put there the file name that I have told you to save it. It is technical alphas, like that. Then after that, the number we can say 5. Then we click on save. So you see that now our work has changed the name. It was called at first, it was question 1, but this time around it is called technical alphas 5. Okay, so guys, we're going to end there for today. Let's meet on the next tutorial, and that will be designing a multiplication table. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe and like the video. We meet in the next tutorial. Goodbye.